Hi, welcome to Teach Me Miss D. I recently posted a video about ways that you could help your children with learning spellings at home. So here are a few more ways that you can help. So in my previous video we talked about the look, cover, write check sheets, how to use them and how to add to them. So I mentioned before about using magnets to spell out the words. On my fridge we have Scrabble magnets, which are really good, and if you've got a Scrabble board or the magnets, you can use them to help your children spell out their spelling words and look for words that have their pattern in. It would be quite good using the Scrabble because then you could see which word makes the highest number and things like that, using the scores on, which is another way of helping their maths as well. Another quick way you can do is if you've got squared paper, you can challenge your children to try and make a crossword of all their words. So get them to write a word and then another word through it and another word through it on the squared paper. See if they can write clues for what the word means, because that's useful for them to know so that they're not just learning the word for the test, but they understand what it means as well. Online, I've mentioned before in previous videos, there are lots of websites where you can type the words in and it will auto create it into a word search, and then you can search for the words online or print them out, and the same with a crossword format. Children learn a lot by writing the words down. Now this might send you in fear, but a good way of getting the children to write it down, if they are reluctant writers, is find fun ways of writing it. So you can buy window safe crayons and you can get them to write their spellings on their bedroom window for the week and then just wash it off at the end of the week. I know that sounds like a nightmare, but it works quite well. We've done it in the classroom. You could fill a baking tray with flour, sugar, shaving foam, anything where they can then write with their finger the spelling in, because that's a fun way of avoiding handwriting the words. Also, you could get them to type them on the computer. See how many times in a minute they can type a certain spelling word, because for those who are reluctant writers or find writing difficult, it's a good way of repeating writing the word without actually physically having to write it themselves. Another good way, if you find there's a particular word that they're finding difficult to spell, try writing that part of the word in colour so it stands out, so it really emphasises it to them and draws their attention to learning that bit. You might have heard of mnemonics. Mnemonics is a terrible word to spell, but it's a really fun way of getting children to remember a tricky word. Most of us will know already a mnemonic for a word like because. Big elephants can't always use small exits. Something that is going to help them remember it. It doesn't have to be a word for each letter. It's just anything that you can add to it to remind them. So the word island is land. Or if you say to them, don't believe a lie, they remember that the word lie is in believe. So mnemonics are a good way, and you can find loads online of ways to do it, or get the children to create their own. If they get a spelling list of 10 words, they're not going to create 10 mnemonics, but if there's one or two words they find particularly difficult, give it a go at finding a little rhyme or pattern to remember to spell them. That works quite nicely. If your child is a little bit more active and actually sitting down doing homework isn't going to be the best way for them, try making it into a practical activity. So take them out in the garden with a ball and throw the ball, and each time you throw the ball you've got to spell out the letter of the word. So you take it in turns to add the letter on, and you can play it as 1 knee, 2 knee, so if you get it wrong you have to bend down and things like that to make it a bit of fun. Or you can send them on a word hunt. Maybe hide all their spellings around the house, see if they can find them, or give them a book or a child-friendly newspaper and see if they can find any of their spellings in the newspaper. That would work quite nicely. If they're struggling with the actual rule, maybe write out a set of the words and a set of words that don't follow the rule, and get them just to sort them into, does this word follow the rule I've been learning or not? That's a good way of doing them. Playing hangman. So you get to write down how many dashes the word's got, and then they can guess it. It's again another way of helping them remember the order of the spellings without actually having to write it out lots of times. And the last way to do it is, if your child is particularly creative and likes writing but they're not very good at spelling, get them to try and write a short story using as many of their spelling words as possible. Just fun ways of getting them to drop in the words that they need to learn for that week. But it is tricky when you've got a busy household, but some of these things can be quite quick fixes just to get them to practice a little bit more and avoid just sitting down filling in a worksheet sent from school. Hope that's useful for you. Please subscribe below and comment if you want me to cover anything in particular, and keep a lookout for my other videos that will be coming soon on specific spelling patterns. Thanks very much.